What's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Stock Talk. This is a series I make whenever I feel it's necessary, where we cover some exciting news and price action in regard to some of the stocks that we've been talking about on the channel. In today's case, we are once again focusing on the EV sector. There's a lot of volatility in the space right now, very exciting times, which is to be expected in this current market environment, but it also means that I want to keep you guys posted with some of my thoughts in regard to these stocks. All right, so I know you already know this from the title, but today we will be covering, if you take a look on the watch list on the right, we'll just go down the line here. So Nikola, Tesla, NIO, Workhorse, and SHLL, Tortoise Acquisition, soon to be Hyliion. We'll take a look at each of these charts. In regard to news, I actually just want to focus on Nikola Stock. They saw that crazy price action today where like up almost 35% on the day, following some analyst upgrades. So we will take a look at the news that led to that price action. Again, touching briefly on Nikola, and I also want to show you guys this other piece of news that I found while looking into this that I think is important to mention in regard to the overall markets. And we will also touch on good old Elon Musk. Can't not touch on this guy when we're covering Tesla. He decided to release some shorts last week to just roast some short sellers of Tesla stock. So we will take a look at that. I'll let you guys know what I'm thinking about that. And yeah, before we get into these charts, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do gain value from it, or if you are invested in any of the stocks in this sector. And please subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want to catch more investing and trading content like this. Also, please leave a comment below and let me know what sector or what stock specifically you want me to cover next. Okay, there's a lot of exciting things. Biotech, cryptocurrency is very exciting to me right now as well. I actually wasn't sure what video to make today, but yeah, just let me know what you guys want to see, because that's honestly the most important factor in how I decide to what I want to cover in my videos. Okay, so let's get into Nikola. Again, we will always establish the fundamental base prior to getting into technicals, so let's just read through this real quick. Shares of Nikola are starting to look attractive for long-term investors, as JP Morgan analyst Paul Coster upgrading the stock to overweight from neutral. Okay, so again, this is an analyst upgrade. You guys always take analyst upgrades, although this is their job, with a grain of salt. You never know how, if they're incentivized, like if they hold a bag of Nikola to upgrade the stock to do so, which is very likely in many cases, but yeah, they still hold weight. Just be cautious. Okay, the upgrade came hours before founder Trevor Milton posted a drive demo of the company's fuel cell semi-truck. Shares surged 26% during Wednesday's session, back above the firm's price target of $45. We believe this stock does not fully price in successful execution of the multi-year growth strategy, which yields earning power of negative 1.7 billion EBITDA in 2027. Of 1.7 billion EBITDA in 2027. wrote Coster, the note's lead analyst. Okay, so EBITDA, if you guys have watched my when I cover kind of the financials of companies in the past, EBITDA is a single metric I look at. That's the most earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So that is a very important metric if you're ever looking at financials. So just keep that in mind. But 2027, again, that's a long time away. But again, that is what a lot of investors in this current market are kind of basing their current investments on, is the long-term view. Okay, so that analyst highlights a number of potential positive catalysts in coming weeks and months, including the announcement of a partner to produce its Badger pickup truck. Okay, so the good old Badger, they're kind of poster child for Nikola at this moment. Deployment plans for hydrogen charging stations in the UK, and potentially accelerated implementation plans for the F-cell trucks in the US. The electric and hydrogen fuel cell truck company has been much talked about since its public debut in early June, with comparisons and non-comparisons to Tesla. In a recent interview with Yahoo Finance, Milton said he hopes to someday take the throne from the Ford F-150. So that's a huge statement. Ford F-150 is obviously like the pinnacle of the American pickup truck. So that's definitely a bold claim, but the way things are trending, I wouldn't be surprised. But again, the time horizon on this is what really matters. That will likely be a decent way down the road. Okay, so Milton tweets regularly about designs and sneak peeks, and is often defending the company against naysayers. So I will read this tweet here. Definite Elon Musk vibes. He is, I think he is attempting to follow in the footsteps of Elon Musk and trying to be a little, you want to evoke emotion, right? And I think that's what he's trying to do. Want to see the Instagram live video? See the fuel cell under the hood powering the truck, driving, running alongside of it, and had a little fun poking at the trolls, saying we are fake. Hope you all enjoy. Share with everyone. All right, so again, he is poking fun at the trolls. That is a very again, he's just trying to evoke emotion, which is good when you're the CEO of a company. You wanna reinforce your investors and the people who believe in you. So that is cool that he's doing this, but again, very Elon Musk. He's definitely trying to be a marketer, which again makes sense. But I think he's biting Elon a little bit. In our view, Nikola is currently a story stock, but we are on board as long as the company executes to plan, and providing the stock offers a favorable risk-reward trade-off. Wrote Coster. We could also get less constructive in a hurry if the firm fails to execute the plan, or if competition ratchets up faster than we anticipate. He added. Okay, so this is the one other highlight that I want to read you guys. This is what the analyst said. Nikola trading volumes are very high despite limited float at present, so we believe the stock movement is largely driven by short-term traders. Okay, so if that's not news to any of you guys, just based on looking at the charts, which is, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this is fueled on short-term traders. A lot of this market right now is fueled on short-term traders and new money in the market, or new retail investors in the space. So it is not surprising to see crazy volume on this stock with, again, a low float. That means the total amount of shares that are available. So again, it's not surprising to see this kind of volatility from a technical perspective. Nikola has not been looking great, again, since June 9th, when it did peak, when it saw this crazy rally from was this $35 up to $95, $95. So 3x in a 2-day span, which is insane. Obviously, what goes up must come down. It has capitulated since and actually corrected significantly. Okay, so what is bullish here, and it's definitely like following some technical patterns here, is obviously that it came down here, it corrected right almost perfectly to this gap where it gapped up initially on June 8th, when it did see that 2-day spike of like a 3x. Okay, so it came back down here, it bounced off right off of this area where it gapped up. And now it is up, again, 34% on the day. So if you look at it from, again, we're on the daily charts here. This is following the past like month here. So it is still significantly down from a month ago, obviously, if it's high at $95. So it's still significantly down. It is this is a very established downtrend in my mind, or an area of resistance that I'm keeping a close eye on. So as long as Nikola is below this line of resistance, okay, you see it followed this almost perfectly over the course of like an entire week. Okay, like that is a textbook trend line, a textbook line of resistance. So I'm keeping a close eye on this line. I recommend you guys draw this on your charts or whatever you're using to view this chart and this price action. So draw this line. Is if it does break up above this lowering trend line, then I will consider reestablishing a position or even entering a position, because it's off to the races from there in my mind. Maybe not. I mean, don't expect another 3x if it does break above this trend line, but I do think it's a very bullish sign if it does happen to break above this trend line. So just keep an eye on that. Volume is you saw a crazy amount of volume today once again, almost as much, actually maybe even just about the same, if not even a little more volume than we had when it spiked up so significantly about a month ago. So along with that, the RSI, I don't always bring this up, but it is important. The RSI, stochastic and traditional RSI, has now curled up on the daily. Again, I'm keeping an eye on more mid to long-term movements. I'm not trying to day trade this, but this is looking very bullish on the daily. I do expect Nikola, especially now that it's curling up, it's rare that this isn't a bullish sign. So I would expect Nikola to continue a move up, at least retest this. It might bounce off this trend line around like $59. So keep an eye on that. If it does break up above this, I am bullish. All right, one more thing that I do want to mention, that I mentioned in the beginning, that kind of relates to the overall markets, that I just feel like is important to keep in mind. Okay, so United Airlines just announced this morning. United Airlines, the carrier stock fell 3% initially after it warned 36,000 employees of potential job cuts. So I'm not sure if you guys saw this headline. This was pretty big news this morning. United Airlines, federal law requires employers to provide 60 days notice about possible layoffs or temporary furloughs. United was among the airline that took the $25 billion in federal payroll support and is prohibited from trimming staff or pay until October 1st. The stock finished the day flat. Okay, so that this very well sums up the disconnect between the economy and the markets. So obviously, markets, economy, very different things. That is evident at this point, but it's just a sign of how bad the economy actually is. Okay, and a lot of people thinking that as the economy reopens and as we are kind of pulling back and actually are beginning somewhat of a reopening process, I think people are realizing that it's not what it was cut out to be, and things are not going to return. Well, things aren't going to return to the normal of early 2020. Okay, so Earnings do come up. A lot of large cap companies do begin to announce earnings over the course of the next couple of weeks. So that's going to be a very determining time in the general equity markets as to how the next few months will play out. Okay, so just keep an eye on that, you guys. I will move on to the Elon Musk news, but just be aware of that. Be aware of the general news, like the general economic, like almost macroeconomic news in regard to a lot of these large companies over the course of the next few weeks, and definitely keep an eye on earnings, because that will dictate the movement of the market that I personally don't think will be towards the positive. I believe it will have a negative impact. Okay, so right here, Elon Musk sexy short sellout in minutes. All right, so I just want to show you guys this. I'm not sure if you guys looked into this. I'll let you guys look into this for yourself. But Elon did release some shorts for $69.420. So Elon is, I mean, I've always said this. Elon is as great of an entrepreneur as he is. I would argue that he's equally as good a marketer. So, I mean, he released these shorts to roast the short sellers who short Tesla stock, all right? And I have been one of these guys. I've felt this before. Okay, so he released these, and it's just so crazy to me that he's pulling this. And if you guys saw like him and Kanye, that picture of him and Kanye that went absolutely viral. Again, I love Elon. I think he is a brilliant human being. Obviously, like, proven great entrepreneur and proven great marketer at this point. So he's great at getting his name out there. He's great. I mean, selling these for $70, $69.420 on Tesla is I mean, that's good for the Tesla company. I personally think it's kind of goofy and trolly, but I mean, if the Tesla fanboys like it, then whatever. They sold out in minutes. It crashed the site. So you guys can look more into this if you want, but I just wanted to show you guys that just because it's crazy times. All right, so let's move on to Tesla. Tesla, again, I still have these three lines drawn here on the daily chart. Tesla it's so evident that this will see a pretty significant pullback at some point in the near future. Okay, so what I think is going to happen, I always remember, you guys, this is just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. So you see stochastics, just like on Nikola, they were beginning to curl up. These are beginning to curl down, which is traditionally, historically bearish. And we did see a red day today, down 2%, finally ending the streak of Tesla over the past week or so. So I do think that what makes sense to me, and what I do think is going to happen, is we're going to see Tesla pull down and come all the way back down here and probably correct near this kind of trend line. And remember, guys, like, this could be up here or down here, but I think I'll kind of make this right in line with my 21 EMA. So it wouldn't surprise me much to see it come down and correct off this trend line at about $1,100. It does coincide with that 21 EMA, exponential moving average. So it wouldn't surprise me, again, because Tesla's been ripping so hard lately, and they do announce earnings pretty soon. So be very cautious of Tesla's next earnings. Although their delivery info or their delivery data was good, that's a good sign as far as long-term prospects. Like, obviously the company is growing, but that doesn't mean they were profitable. Okay, so it's going to be very interesting to see if Tesla actually is profitable in their earnings report, and I will keep a close eye on that. I think their earnings date is on it's pretty soon. Damn it, why can't I remember? It's on the 14th or something. You guys can look it up. It's easy information to find, but it's coming up pretty soon, so keep a close eye on that. I do definitely think Tesla will see a pullback. And again, I do think it makes sense for it to come down to about $1,100. All right, so I will just try to breeze through the rest of these. NIO, again, NIO has just been ripping over the past couple weeks, and they finally saw their first significant down day. So they are down to, I mean, not significant down day, but this is a big candle right here. Okay, so a high of 1530. They closed the day out at 1280. So I mean, a lot of volatility today. NIO is still in a bullish pattern. Again, it's still above all trend lines. I mean, it makes sense that it bounced right off this upper line of resistance. So it is now using that as support, and it would make sense to me if, again, unless the market starts to do very poorly, which again, that's why I threw in that little bit of macroeconomic news, is just to, if the entire markets, if the general markets, the S&P, the Dow, see bad days, it is likely that it will drag these down along with it, because these are equities, okay? And they are getting to be pretty big names at this point. Okay, so just keep an eye out for that. Be cautious of that. But NIO, from a technical perspective, again, I do think that it could potentially use this as a line of support. It might go flat for a little bit, but if it breaks down below this trend line, and again, guys, I'm just keeping an eye on these general trend lines. This isn't super technical, and I have explained that before, but these have been like the most telling and most useful, super basic indicators that are like proving pretty effective every single time. So if it does break below this, I would expect it to come and bounce off this. So I do recommend you guys just kind of draw these trend lines. Like, even if you don't copy this, just draw what you feel are like effective trend lines. Okay, so if it does break down below this point at about $12, like if it gets underneath $12, I do expect it to come back down, bounce around $10. It would make sense, maybe a little lower, and like maybe it'll come retest this area where it gapped up initially at about like $9.40. So again, it's very dependent on how the markets perform and how investor sentiment continues over the course of this week. All right, so Workhorse. If you guys remember the last video I posted, the last stock talk on this sector that I did on Workhorse, I was saying that there's no way that this doesn't correct. And I think it was probably when I posted that like 4 or 5 days ago. So actually, yeah, this corrected significantly on Monday. So it did end up correcting the day after I posted that, or the trading day after that video. But it was obvious this thing is about as crazy and bubbly and parabolic as it gets. So if I'm being completely honest with Workhorse, for full transparency, I'm sure I did short Workhorse when I released that initial video. So these shorts are paying off a little bit right now, and I do expect Workhorse to probably come back down to the $10 region. I think I said that in the last video as well. Again, $10, $11 does coincide with the 21 EMA on the daily, and it does kind of fit into this range where it gapped up prior to those crazy moves up when it completely broke out. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Workhorse come back down to $10. If it does come down to $10, I would definitely consider reestablishing a position. And come back to the RSI. This RSI is trending directly down, and when you see it like that, that usually means it will continue downward a little before it starts to curl back up again. Okay, so that is a Workhorse, expecting a pull back down to $10. Shell, I will look at this one on the hourly just because it looks stupid on a daily. So Shell and Tortoise Acquisition actually looks pretty good to me right now. Okay, so again, this is kind of two-wave theory playing out right here. You see that initial move up, significant move up. A lot of FOMO hits the market, and again, with this sector, you're seeing so much FOMO and shiny object chasing. So it shot up, again, corrected back down, bubble popped, capitulates for a little bit, and then I did draw this bull flag. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It did play out as a descending triangle in this case, and right at the tip of what was a descending triangle, it broke down. But it did recover over the past few days, and it is now floating right at this area where it has been spending a lot of time at. Okay, so this $25 region. I think Hyliion. I do get a little confused whether I want to call it Shell, Hyliion, Tortoise Acquisition, whatever. You guys get the point. I think this stock we'll see another movement. Again, you see that first wave, capitulation, a correction, and then capitulation, sideways movement, and then a lot of times you see that second wave. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised, especially considering this stock has the lowest market cap of any of these that we just covered at only like 770 billion. I think this has a lot more room for growth. Again, I did release that video, that specific analysis on this company a few days ago, and I'm very confident in this company. Like looking at their financials, looking at their website, looking at their product line, this is a very cool company doing tangible things, especially when you compare it. Like, I know it seems like I beat on Nikola. Nikola obviously has a sick mission. There's a reason they're still floating around a $20 billion market cap, but they don't actually have any products on the road, like in the lineup right now. Okay, no one's actually buying their products yet or driving them around. And a lot of these other companies, they're actually have products out there, have a cool product line, and are actually making deals and cutting checks and stuff. Okay, so again, this is a cool company with a cool take on the EV sector. It is a unique company, and their mission is unique, supplying powertrains as opposed to actual vehicles. So that's a cool fact. And again, with a low market cap where they are right now, I think this is a great buying opportunity for Shell. So I would recommend looking into Shell stock. Always do your own research and due diligence prior to investing in these. But I definitely am bullish on Shell right now. Probably more bullish on Shell or Hyliion more than any of the other stocks we just covered. Okay, so As always, if you guys do want to know exactly how I'm trading these or will trade these in the future, you guys can check out my complete portfolio and daily newsletter in the first link down below in the description. Exactly as it states, complete breakdown of all call options, put options, stock positions, even cryptocurrencies. I mentioned that in the beginning. I'm very excited on cryptos right now, and I will make a video on that in the future, covering stocks in that sector. So if you guys are curious to that, please check out, again, first link down in the description. Along with my portfolio, I send out a newsletter on every trading day during market hours, talking about the trades I made that day, talking about my general feelings on the market, and just kind of giving you guys my real-time perspective on what's going on during market hours. Okay, so check that out if you are interested. If not, no worries, and we will call it there, guys. Again, I appreciate you for watching. Please drop a comment if you're excited about any of these projects, or again, what you guys want to see next and what stocks you are personally interested in right now. Okay, so always love learning from you guys. Look forward to talking to you, and until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.